on in. Come on into the room. Come on in. Good morning. Good morning. Let's go ahead and get ourselves settled in. It is early Sunday morning, about 10 a.m. Some of us just getting up out of bed. Some of us about to eat breakfast. Some of us getting ourselves ready for church. Let's go ahead and get ourselves settled in so we can take part in this lesson today. And I promise I won't be long. Just checking a few things and make sure that it is um, posted online that people can see. But like on my end, I'm having a little bit of technical issues, so hopefully I'm coming through just fine and everybody can see. Okay, let's go on here. Let's see here. So as I'm doing that, just to make sure everything is fine, let's settle ourselves. Let's calm down for all the hustle and bustle, getting ourselves together. I know. I remember when I was a little boy. Sunday morning, we were just chaotic. Getting ourselves ready and out the door for church, getting to Sunday school on time, getting to church services on time. And I know how chaotic it can be. So let's go ahead and settle ourselves in at this moment, at this present time, so we can learn a little something today. All right. As I like to start things off, some people may have a hectic week, may have a hectic morning, hectic weekend, and to relax and get all that out of your mind, out of your system. Let's go ahead and breathe in and breathe out. Breathe out all the worries, breathe out all those problems, all the drama, trouble that you've been having this week. Let it all go. Just relax. Let's do it one more time. Breathe in and breathe out. All right, all right. So this morning I'm here, excuse me, Minister J. Quincy Num Jr. By way of Unity Fellowship Church, Charleston, South Carolina. Um, I'm here through my program, Bridge and Unity, here to discuss some things within the Bible and show you how you can connect it in your everyday life and use it throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout this month to carry you through. Today, I want to talk to you about anxiety and worries. Okay, so that's what our topic is going to be about: anxiety, worry, stress, all that stuff. Okay, and there's a scripture that I'll be coming from. Be talking about First Peter 5 and 7. So we can discuss about that and talk a little bit about that this morning. But let's go ahead and open up with a prayer. Set our hearts and mind. Gracious God, thank you for this moment. Thank you for this time. Thank you for the ability to reach out to your people and teach them and help them to learn your word. Lord, we ask that they take this lesson today and take it to heart. Allow them to change their mindset, the way they think, the way they operate, the way they flow throughout their life, Lord. Let this lesson help them. Let this lesson um, get them to a better state in their life. Lord, please bless the teacher at this present moment. Allow them to see you and not me, Lord, through this lesson. In your precious name, Lord, we pray. Amen, Ashe, and so it is. All right, just a few announcements before I go into my top of the morning today. One announcement: all those who's part of Unity Fellowship Church movement, we all know every year around October is our great holy convocation. So it's getting close to that time again. It's July. So our convocation is in 3 months. It's actually a little less than 90 days from now. So it's going to be in Los Angeles, California from October 4th through October 11th. We encourage each and every one of y'all to come on in and enjoy and celebrate with us our holy convocation. This is our 44th year. It's going to be our last year here in Los Angeles, California for quite some bit. So we encourage you to come on out and celebrate with us. If you have not registered yet, it is not too late. We do have a regular registration going on. from now up into September 12th. And then after September 12th, it's pretty much a rush registration. So we don't want to rush. We don't want to get into that rush registration. So I encourage each and every one of y'all to register if you haven't. Also, we also have souvenir books. If you want to put in an ad, if you want to congratulate someone, give them a happy birthday, happy anniversary, a new addition to your family, whatever you want to post on there, we encourage each and every one of you to take part in the ad. If you have any information, want any more information, please reach out to me. You can reach out to my messenger on Facebook, and you can also reach out to me, those in Unity, the info plus souvenir book.com, and we'll at gmail.com, excuse me, and we'll definitely give you the information that you're looking for. For local announcement, with Unity Fellowship Charleston, next Saturday, actually July the 18th, if I'm not mistaken, from 12 to 3, Unity Fellowship Charleston will be having a conference. And this conference will be based on faith, sexuality. It's basically how you're dealing with or our stories on faith and sexuality and how that combine together. If you're interested in that, we ask you to please show up. Show up. It's in person. It's at our LGBTQ Community Center on North Carolina Avenue. Once again, it's July 18th from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. You can go on Eventbrite to get a ticket. The tickets are free. But the reason why we ask you to register through Eventbrite so we can get a gauge on how many people are coming. So once again, is this Saturday coming July 18th from 12 to 3. All right, I believe that's all the announcements that we have at this time. Also, with giving, if you're enjoying the top of the morning, if you're enjoying Unity Fellowship Charleston, our gathering services, which is on first and third Sundays, and if you're enjoying the conferences that we're having, we ask you to please donate so we can continue on providing this for you. And how to donate, we have Cash App is $favor by. You also can go on to our website, which is www.ufccharlestonsc.org. And you can go through and send tithes, send offering, whatever you want on that page as well. You can send check via mail, and that information is on our website as well. All right, that's it for all the announcements that I have at this time. If you're ready, if your hearts and minds are settled, we're settled in, we got that cup of coffee, we got our food in our system, and we're ready to talk about First Peter 5 and 7. And let's go into our lesson here. So let me briefly read what I want to talk about today. Because basically I've read First Peter 5, starting at the 5th verse down to the 11th, to get a full understanding of it. But I want to focus on mostly on verse 7. And this is from the NIV version that I'm reading. First Peter 5 and 7 reads, cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. And if you read that one particular verse, it can mean a lot. It can stand out a lot. And I want to focus on that particular verse today for you, which is the 7th verse. And let's go into why I want to discuss this today and why that particular one. We got to understand what it means when it says cast their anxieties on God. So let's sit and let's think about it. When you hear the word peace, what comes to mind to you? What does peace mean to you? And to everybody else, to everybody on here that's watching this present time, peace can be different for you as it means different to me, as it means different to the next person. What level of peace are you looking for? When you say peace of mind, or just peace in general, what does that mean to you? Does that mean no stress? That means no worries to you? That means everything is fine, all bills paid, everything is going as planned, no hiccups, or just quietness, or just being to yourself, or just away from all the hustle and bustle. What does peace means to you? What comes in mind when you say peace? So today we're looking at a verse that reminds us where real peace actually begins. Uh, Not by pretending we don't have problems. Okay, let's be real. Let's keep it up front and real today. We all have problems. Problems are always going to exist. So let's put that out there. Even if you have peace in your home, even if you have peace going on right now, there's always problems that's going on. That's what we call life. But by giving those problems to God, now that makes a difference. You have people who deal with problems in other ways, but then you have people that actually take their problems onto God, and the outcomes are drastically different. So, once again, if I drill into First Peter 5 and 7, it says, "Cast all your anxiety on Him because He cares for you." Peter wrote to the Christians experiencing hardship and persecution before telling them to cast their anxieties on God. He encourages humility. Trusting God means recognizing that we need Him and don't have to carry life's burden alone. So basically, what is happening here, Peter is talking to the elders, letting them know, hey, any problems, any issues you got going on, trust God. Cast all that onto them. Cast all that onto God. And don't worry. If you trust that God's going to take care of it, cast it on to God and leave it there. So at this present time, God is inviting us to release our burdens to God. Any worries? What do you mean by burdens? Worries, anything that keeps you up at night, anything that really stresses you out. You have issues that's going on at your job. Release that burden to God. You have issues that's going on in your family with your kids, with your mother, with your auntie, your cousins, what brother, sister, whatever it is. Release that burden to God. All of us at this day and present time is worrying about bills. How we going to keep food in our house? How we going to make ends meet? The government, the way things are changing now, it's ridiculous. Gas prices at one time was extremely high. We didn't know how we was going to make it from point A to point B. All these burdens, all these worries, God said, release it to the divine. See, the word cast means to throw or to place something onto someone else. God isn't asking us to ignore. However, God is inviting us to give them problems over to Him. So, what are some things people commonly worry about today? If you think about it. So, if you're watching it live right now, just type in what you think that people commonly worry about today. If you watch this later on, throughout the week, later on today, comment on it. What do you think are some things that people commonly worry about today? And I probably mentioned some of it. You know, some of it that I mentioned today is like making ends meet. Gas prices high. Everything is just extremely high. Jobs are coming few and far. There's a lot of worries that's going on right now. So those are common worries that we got going on today. It's quite different than back then. But worries are worries, burdens are burdens, problems are problems. So what are one ways that we can think about getting these problems off of us and casting them on to God, like Peter stated. Well, one way is prayer. Prayer is a way that we can place our burdens into God's hands instead of carrying them alone. Sometimes we feel that, our burdens may be small. It may be something that we don't really want to worry God about. I got bigger problems I can carry to God. But if it's a problem to us, if it's a concern to us, then God cares about it. So we talk about casting our problems onto God, our worries and our issues onto God. But then once we cast it, do we always leave it there? When we throw our problems onto God, did we then say, okay, our problems is thrown onto God, I'm gonna leave it there and walk away? Most of the time, majority of the time, that does not happen. It always come back to mind. It always come back to the front, and it's always in our minds, especially if our problems have not been taken care of as quickly as we want it to be taken care of. So this is where it comes to the trusting part. Why can we trust God? You know, well, some of the reason why we could trust God because things that God has brought us through. We've known God has brought us through things before, and this is not anything different. But the problem is sometimes when we cast our burdens and our issues and our stress onto God, we tend to pick it back up because we feel that God may not be there, or we feel that it's taking too long to get to an expected end. So then we pick them burdens back up and start worrying again. But if you trust God, you know to leave them right there. Don't worry, it's going to be resolved. Now, there's some burdens that may not be resolved. There's a reason why you're going through those burdens. You may have to go through that test to get to a certain level, a certain part in your life. But that's a different topic, different story for another day. But as of right now, I'm talking about casting all your burdens, all your problems, all your fears, your troubles onto God so you could be stress free, so you could be in that level of peace that I asked about earlier. What is peace to you? What do peace mean to you? And peace means a lot when you're able to give those burdens over. See, God care is personal. It, God isn't too busy. God is not distant from us, even though it may seem like it at times. God is not too busy to be concerned about what you got going on, about what you're facing. Never at any point do you ever think that God is too busy for you. Sometimes we think our worries are too small. It's never too small. What concerns us concerns God. So how does knowing God cares changes the way we handle anxiety? Now that you know that God cares no matter how big or how small your problems may be, tell me, how does that change your mindset now, knowing that God cares? I can tell you for me, when I go through stress, when I'm going through problems, when I'm going through frustration, and I know that God actually cares, that God's actually right there, God's actually listening, I'm able now to say, you know what? I'm going to stop all this. I'm going to hand it over to God. I'm going to give it to the Lord and let the Lord work things out. And so strange about it, when I say that, there's a level of peace that comes to mind at that present time when I say I release it over to God. Now, when you go release your burdens and your troubles and your stress over to God, truly release it. Truly mean what you say. And the reason why I say truly release it and truly mean what you say, then that's when that peace starts to happen. That's where you feel the weight of the world, it feels like, has lifted somewhat off of you because you now took it off of you and put it onto God. And once it's given to God, just trust that it's going to work out. Don't pick that burden back up again because trust me, there's other burdens, there's other worries that's going to be coming your way. You don't want to have too much on you because you're not going to be able to bear it. Give it on to God. Let's keep it moving and trust. There go that word trust that some people, a lot of people have a hard time dealing with. Trust that it's going to work out and things are going to work out. So let's reflect on Peter, First Peter 5 and 7, when it says, "Cast your anxieties onto God, onto Him." You know, let's think about it. Today, we have people being deported. Like I said, we have rising prices, inflation. We have everything you can think of that's happening at this present time around this world. You know, and it has affected some of us. It has affected some of our finances. It has affected, excuse me, some of our living situations. But let's think about it here. Casting all that onto God and not worrying about it, to you, it sounds easy. It's easier said than done, but trust and believe that God is going to see you through this. Through this present time, it may seem rough, it may seem hard, but I encourage you to stop in the middle of all that stress, stop in the middle of all that trouble that you got going on, and say, you know what? I can't take this on anymore. I can't deal with this anymore. I'm going to give it all to you, God. I just want to share some things with you, what's been going on in my life for the past couple of weeks. I've been taking on a lot of work. That's a lot of things. I've been wearing a lot of hats in my workplace, in my secular job. And, it's come to the point of becoming very stressful. And, sometimes we feel that we can handle a lot of things. We take on a lot. Sometimes some of the burdens that we carry is stuff that we've brought onto ourselves. It's not necessarily spiritual all the time. It's not necessarily the enemy that's coming at you. Sometimes it's stuff that you bring on your own self. But when it comes a time, it needs to come to a time where you sit and say, wait a minute, I'm taking on more than I can bear. I'm becoming stressed, becoming depressed. I'm becoming this person that I don't know because I'm snapping at someone who just said hello to me, you know, because there's a lot of issues that's going on that you feel that you yourself have to deal with. You yourself can deal with. You yourself has to carry this burden and no one else can. But I'm here to tell you, even though you took on those things, those problems, those troubles, those issues yourself, you still can give it to God. And trust me, God will make a way for you to get a peace of mind. God will make a way for you to come out of the situation that you put yourself in. Yeah. But you got to be willing to trust God. You got to be willing to release it and surrender it all to God and allow God to do what God do. All right, so that's going to be towards the end of my lesson today of First Peter 5 and 7. Cast your anxieties, cast your worries, cast your trouble, cast your drama, cast your stress, whatever, cast the kids' issues, cast the job issues, cast all those worries, uh, how to make ends meet, how to put food on the table. Oh my God, I'm going to be deported. Cast all that to God. All the injustice that's going on, cast that on to God and trust and believe that God is definitely going to change things around, going to pull you out of that situation, get you out of that stressful situation, and get you to a level of peace that you deserve. Dear hearts, I hope this brief lesson that I gave to you this morning will touch your heart, change your mind, and help you to understand that you need to get to a level of peace in your life. If that means that you casting your burdens unto God means to set aside or to not discuss or talk to a certain person at this present time, or to, you know, choose not to argue with someone. Do what you need to do to get to that level of peace and understand that God cares no matter how big or small the situation may be. All right, family, well, I'm going to go ahead and give you the rest of your Sunday morning back so you can go ahead and finish your breakfast, get yourself together for either Sunday school or your church service, and keep this in mind. Cast your burdens, cast your anxieties, cast your troubles onto God so you can be at a level of peace that you need to be. Well, God bless everyone, and I'll see you back here on second Sunday next month. Be blessed, and I'll love you. Why? Because God loved me first.